Welcome to the Survive to Thrive radio network at www.survive2thrive.net. Times are getting tough for most of us, and being prepared has never been more important. All of our hosts strive to keep you well informed so that you can achieve optimum health in all areas of your life. If you feel that the shows and website are informative, please share this information with your friends and family. If you would like to see certain topics covered, please let us know. Join us on Facebook to help spread the word. You can find the link at the bottom right of the Survive to Thrive homepage. EnerHealth Botanicals is the sole sponsor for this network, providing you not only with important information, but also with highly effective products that produce real results, such as EnerFood, coconut milk powder, liver cleanse, Cocoa Mojo, Silymarin, NutriCafe, and introducing the new 40-day, 40-night organic preparedness pail. A preparedness supply unlike any other on the market today. Supporting EnerHealth supports both this network and your own health. Without good health, we go nowhere. Go to survivetothrive.net and click on the EnerHealth banner on the top right for automatic discounts, or call them at 866-762-9238. That's 866-762-9238. You can also go to their website at www.enerfood.com. That's ENERF like Frank, OOD like dog.com. Enerfood.com. A big thank you to all of our listeners already taking the products that EnerHealth offers. We truly appreciate it. We thank you for your support and encourage you to listen often to stay informed during these crucial times.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Hawk coming to you live. It is Friday night, 1/29/2016, and I'm going right now to Psalm 91. He that dwelleth in the secret place of the Most High shall abide under the shadow of the Almighty. And I will say of the Lord, He is my refuge and my fortress, my God, in Him will I trust. And surely He shall deliver thee from the snare of the fowler, and from the noisome pestilence. He shall cover thee with His feathers, and under His wings shalt thou trust. His truth shall be thy shield and buckler. Thou shalt not be afraid for the terror by the night, nor for the arrow that flieth by day, nor for the pestilence that walketh in darkness, nor for the destruction that wasteth at noonday. 1,000 shall fall at thy side, and 10,000 at thy right hand, but it shall not come nigh thee. Only with thine eyes shalt thou behold and see the reward of the wicked, because thou hast made the Lord, which is my refuge, even the Most High, thy habitation. And there shall no evil befall thee, neither shall any plague come nigh thy dwelling. For He shall give His angels charge over thee, to keep thee in all thy ways, and they shall bear thee up in their hands, lest thou dash thy foot against a stone. And thou shalt tread upon the lion and adder, the young lion and the dragon shalt thou trample under feet. Because He has set His love upon me, therefore will I deliver him. I will set him on high, because he hath known my name. And he shall call upon me, and I will answer him, and I will be with him in trouble. I will deliver him and honor him. With long life will I satisfy him and show him my salvation. That's a beautiful psalm, ladies and gentlemen. Let me just say this to you. I think you can start to feel it out there. And, you know, I talked about last night some of the numbers in the in the Dow, in some of the markets. Look at this Dow right here. I'm looking at this number, and it just struck me again. It's like, if you read the Dow, it's like 16466, okay, 30. And the Dow is up a 3 and a 9. That's 12. That's 2 sixes plus a 666 on the end. 396.66. And then you got, on the S&P, you got 194024. So you got 19, that's an upside down 6 in a sense. But 9 and 4 is 13, the good old wonderful 13, you see. And then you got 2 plus 4 is 6, then you got 4, 6, and then you got the double God. You see, it's like on the 8s. It's just, this is what it does. What it is the hand of Lucifer behind this. Because what you do is the FBI kills an American cowboy. The FBI kills an American cowboy, or the Oregon State Police do. But you see, you really almost need the close-up cameras, and you need the ones that have the infrared or the heat to them to see what exactly he's doing. And the FBI, we did get the videotape out, but it's the grainy, goopy one from up above. FBI, let's bring out the Oregon State Police dash cams. Let's bring out the shoulder cams. Let's bring out the cams that you guys had in the woods or behind the barricade cars that have the big ear and all of the sound and the whole bit. Let's see what you saw on your infrareds and on your scopes, you see. Let's see all of it, because you see the flashes of what supposedly are flashbangs. But I'm telling you that I think that Lavoie was shot and he got stung there in the side. And then I'm going to say this to you as well. You evil tears, sons of buckses. And I talked about last night probably that there was a Luciferian, Masonic ritual being done in the cave out behind the refuge. And you got a blood sacrifice, and it turns out more people are thinking that way today. And agree with that. And you see, you have a situation where you have FBI, Oregon State Police, the sheriff locally, who is working with the black robe judge, who is the brother of the Beelzebub Luciferian Mongrel Club, the BLM, and you kill the American cowboy. Let's show all of the videotapes. Let's show the sound that you have on these. Because I believe if we heard the sound, like from the dashboard cams of the vehicles present, the shoulder mics and the whole 9 yards, I believe we could see just how many rounds were expended at Lavoie and how and why he had a little trouble navigating in that deep snow when he's getting shot, not by the Oregon State cop, who probably gave him a headshot or a heart shot, but by somebody in the trees shooting him. And then FBI, I know it's your HRT because I can tell, I think, by the uniforms. And if it's not, then it's maybe the sheriff or the old Oregon State cop, SWAT. But quite frankly, I bet you it's the HRT, because after Lavoie is obviously dead and lying on the ground, 5 of you guys go around him. You got long arms. You're in BDUs of some sort. You got helmets. 5 guys go around. If you watch the tape, ladies and gentlemen, they then ask for the 6th man to come over. So there's 6 guys for Lucifer, and there supposedly was 6 coup de grace shots on that body. okay, after he was already laying on the ground and dead. So nobody else comes up to the body. It's the 6, I believe, in my opinion, allegedly the 6 HRT of the FBI who are surrounding then the body of the American cowboy Lavoy Pinnicum. And then you can see clearly on the body is that 2 people apparently are then doing something to Lavoy Pinnicum's body, and they're violating a crime scene. At a certain point, something should have been put around that scene and let it be processed. But now I don't know what they're doing, but they're doing something. Were they altering the position of his arms or his hands to try to minimize, perhaps, for the close-up pictures, the fact that his hands were still up? Hands up! Don't shoot, FBI! Hands up! Don't shoot! There was no weapon in his hand. And the question is, they're playing around, I believe, on his right side. And either they're inserting a firearm, say a pistol into that area, or they're unholstering the firearm or taking a strap off of the holster, the hammer strap to hold it in. Or, you know what I'm saying. The retention strap on the holster for the pistol or the revolver or whatever he was carrying that day. But you can clearly see 2 people working on Lavoy Pinnicum's body while the other boys are posing for their hoorah! Attaboy! Kill them old cowboys! Kill that American cowboy picture! Are you proud? Are you great and proud, you Ramadi Rule, high Masonic, Luciferian scumbag shooters from the devil? You proud of all of that? Your career dissipation lights are going off in your brain. You just don't know it. You took your picture, HRT, for your bonuses, your medals, your attaboys when you get back to the old corral, and for your promotions. You have Lon Horiuchi longings, and you just are probably wishing you could kill a pregnant woman or a woman with a baby suckling from her teat with a long-range rifle shot, because that would really get you promoted and a bonus and be a big medal on your chest, like scumbag Lon Horiuchi that shot Vicky Weaver so many years back. Lest we not forget that, and lest we not forget the Waco, and how you boys were on your videotape, your HRT back then, doing your little gun shuffle and play acting cute for the cameras and everything on the video back then. Yeah, you old gray-haired sucker with the black glasses and you tall, skinny, long-rangey type guy. Do you remember them guys playing their little huck-a-buck game while they had their full auto weapons and such? Well, let me tell you something. You killed the American cowboy, and it's very interesting. I think you shot him with the long range, and it went through probably his kidney or his liver or, somewhere in his back or his side. And then he got stuck in the snow, and he's trying to turn around and keep himself upright, and he's holding the wound probably, and then you use that as the pretext for the Ohio State Trooper. Then you let him come in and shoot him with a pistol. But then what about the 6 shots that were put into him by the eyewitness, the girl, the 19-year-old girl who was in that vehicle, who said that they shot him 6 more times when he was down? And then isn't it interesting that it looks to be that the HRT with your helmets and your little tracksuits on and everything, hut, 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 HRT, hut, 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 hut. Romani rules, Fallujah boys, hut, hut, hut. You come around your blood kill, your blood sacrifice for your Masonic freaking ritual, you scumbag tears, and you get your picture taken, don't you? I bet you got a nice blow-up photo right now that you're showing around your boys, the carcass, of the dead cowboy. And Oregon, you will rue the day you kill the American cowboy and you with your FBIs and all your people there and your OHP. And you see what happened? You killed the American cowboy, and what happened to you, Oregon? A giant sinkhole on your 101 highway on the coast opens up in a sinkhole to hell. A sinkhole to hell. That's what you did. You opened your whole state up to Lucifer, the light bringer, and he gave you a nice sinkhole so your entire state can sink into the ocean, you see. Oh, yes. You guys are just loosied up to the max, ain't ya? Just loosied up to the max is just magnificent. And I'm going to tell you what. The family of Leroy Finicum, you'd better get an independent autopsy because it's also possible that those two men of the six toward the end of that video, when only they surround Lavoie's body and are getting their pictures taken for the FBI, HRT, roll of shame or roll of fame or whatever it is. But it also could be that somebody is removing a spent round from the side of the body that is clearly the side that was being perhaps touched for a second as Lavoie loses his balance. Were you guys altering evidence? Were you putting a pistol there that wasn't there, but allegedly had been there, but maybe he didn't really have one? Were you adding one to the scene? Were you putting your drop gun there with him? Or were you removing perhaps a bullet from a rifle you did not want to be known that round is what killed him? You wanted it to be put on to the Ohio state trooper? Or did you decide that you wanted to, unholster the weapon or whatever? But to me, you were basically altering the body and the crime scene. I just was told here, I just got a thing that we're under massive denial of service attack at the server, at the satellite uplink, and the live stream is down, but still recording. And Todd at the satellite company at Global Star is working to fix the streaming. And I'm not going to stop. I'll keep going on, but basically we're being recorded and we will see the archive that will be posted as quickly as possible right after the show. And okay, now we're back up according to Todd. So anybody hearing it, you need to look at it and then you can hear it from the beginning. So that is telling you something right there. They're doing massive denial of service attack on the satellite. Massive doing it. And everybody has got to understand that we're hitting the nail right on the head. We're hitting the nail right on the head. Hitting the nail right on the head. The tears are in the courthouse. The tears are in that sheriff's office in Harney County. They're in the governor's office. And when you have the Oregon State Police and the HRT kill the American cowboy to do their blood sacrifice after the ritual. Grasty, were you at the grand climax ceremony in the cave? Were you there? Do you guys have a secret way to get in, you see? I'll bet you do, because you sure got your body and you killed the American cowboy. Lavoy Finicum, you killed him, but let me say this to you. Let me just say this. There is a law, and it's what founded our country, and for the Harney County Sheriff, who does not understand that this entire nation was born of rebellion by patriots. I'm going to read for you, Sheriff Harney of Harney County, Hardy or whatever your name is, that whenever any form of government becomes destructive of these ends, it is the right of the people to alter or to abolish it and to institute new government, laying its foundation on such principles and organizing its powers in such form as to them shall seem most likely to affect their safety and happiness. Prudence, indeed, will dictate that governments long established should not be changed for light and transient causes, and accordingly all experience has shown that mankind are more disposed to suffer, while evils are sufferable, than to right themselves by abolishing the forms to which they are accustomed. But when along, listen up, Oregon and the sheriff and the FBI and all you Luciferian scumbag terrors. But when a long train of abuses and usurpations pursuing invariably the same object evinces a design to reduce them under absolute despotism, it is their right, it is their duty to throw off such government and to provide new guards for their future security. And that is the Declaration of Independence, and that is the law of the land. That is the law of the land and the founding document of this United States that then gave us the Constitution and the Bill of Rights. So, ladies and gentlemen, you're now hearing me if you're on. We were under massive denial of service attack at the satellite level, a tremendous attack on the computers and everything. I'm out here. I've been broadcasting. We're recorded. You're going to have to go and hear the beginning of the show because now it's only been up after, say, 18 or 20 minutes after the beginning of the hour. But let me tell you, it'll be up as soon as possible after the show. It is still recording. And you tears, I'm going to read to you what your career dissipation is going to be. You, HRT, Ramadi Rules, High Masonic, Secret Hut scumbags. I saw you at the airport there. I saw you on the video. I saw how you were. I saw your fruits. I saw your spirit and your lies. And Chuck and Mike were the ones probably threatening the people in town. Chuck and Mike, who pretended to be like they were going to the army and pretended like they were patriots when they were found by the fire chief who quit. Let me get to it right here, because I'm going to tell you, you scumbag tears, what you just started is you just started the real deal, boys. You started the real deal. You started it again, and you're trying to cover it up. And by golly, it ain't going to happen because people now know who you are. And we're going to find out in the course of these trials, in the course of all this stuff, in the Freedom of Information Acts, we're going to find out from the autopsy which firearm, which pistol, which rifles did the shooting. How many perforations were there? From what angles? From what distance? So to the family of Avoid Finnegan, have a top-notch private autopsy done. And have your attorneys follow every step of the way with this coroner or wherever this body was taken of your devoted husband or your father or your grandfather. Because let me tell you, they'll alter the body if these same people, these top slot people in the military and in the FBI and all these EIEIOs can alter the body of John Fitzgerald Kennedy. Oh yeah, you guys were all involved in that assassination, weren't you? Now you've killed the American cowboy. You killed the king of Camelot back then. Now you kill the American cowboy. The only thing is, baby, there's a few more cowboys out on the range. The field is the world, and the good seed are the children of the kingdom, but the tares are the children of the wicked one. The enemy that sowed them is the devil. The harvest is the end of the world, and the reapers are the angels. As therefore the tares are gathered and burned in the fire, so shall it be in the end of this world. The Son of Man shall send forth his angels, and they shall gather out of his kingdom all things that have been, and them which do iniquity, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire, and there shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. Do you hear your teeth gnashing, HRT? Do you hear your teeth gnashing, Oregon State Police? Do you hear your teeth gnashing, Harney County Sheriff's deputies? Do you hear them gnashing? Are you starting to wail? And then shall the righteous shine forth as the son of the kingdom of their Father. Who hath ears to hear, let him hear. And again the kingdom of heaven is like unto a treasure hid in the field, which when a man hath found, he hideth, and for joy thereof goeth, and selleth all that he hath, and buyeth that field. And again the kingdom of heaven is like unto a merchant man, seeking goodly pearls, who when he had found one pearl of great price, went and sold all that he had and bought it. And again the kingdom of heaven is like unto a net that was cast into the sea, and gathered of every kind, which when it was full they drew to shore and sat down, and gathered the good into vessels, and cast the bad away. So shall it be at the end of the world. The angel shall come forth and sever the wicked from among the just, and shall cast them into the furnace of fire, and there shall be wailing and gnashing of teeth. And you see, you tares, you think that you are all getting your new black-tinted windshield war wagons, and you think you're going to get new tailored uniforms with your bonuses, and you're going to get all your attaboys from your hot dog buddies up there at good old D.C. and the FBI headquarters and all the stuff. And meanwhile, do you hear it? Nina, 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 Mima, Mima, Mima. Do you see the flashing light? Do you see the flashing light? It's red. It's in the back of your mind. You're going to see it every time you cash your paycheck, every time you go to have your scotch on the rocks or your beer with your buddies, every time you get out of the gym, you pumped iron and you got all your muscles all pumped up and you're looking in the mirror to see how cool and tough you are with your damn Ramadi rules and shit. Every single time you're going to understand that's your career dissipation light. You're going to see it in the back of your mind's eye, and you're going to know that Lord Jesus' angels, his angels and archangels are going to come and pluck you out and throw you into the furnace of fire, and you are going to burn in that plasma fire forever. Do you hear me? You just started the war, boys. You just started the war. You killed the American cowboy, and a giant sinkhole opened up on the Oregon coast. We'll be back in a minute, and maybe I can get fired up a little bit.
Hello there, and welcome to the bottom of the hour. This is Darren Craddock for Inner Health Botanicals, sole sponsor of the Survive to Thrive radio network, bringing you the Hawk on Thursdays and Fridays, Nurse Amy and Dr. Bones on Tuesdays, and myself with Total Health Freedom on Mondays and Wednesdays. We are all here to keep you informed and tell you more about how to stay healthy and aware. We talk on staying well naturally, being prepared, growing your own, and more. With the right tools, foods, and information, we give you the kind of truth that will set you free. Please support our network.
Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Hawk on Friday night, 1/29/2016. I'll tell you what, I got a little frog in the old throat. But ladies and gentlemen, let me just tell you, we are in the beginning of sorrows. If you go to Matthew 24 and you read down the list and you read what Lord Jesus has to say, get your red letter edition and read what he has to say, and you will see that he tells you that we are in the beginning of sorrows when you start to see these things. We're in the beginning of sorrows. And he would desperately love to see everybody endure unto the end. And he's telling you that there's going to be a tremendous great tribulation, such there's never been one like this before. And that is starting to start. It's beginning. We don't know the exact time, but when the Lord tells us to look at these signs and to see these things, you know that you're in the beginning of sorrows. That means it's going to get a lot worse. And you need to get as much food, water storage, water purification equipment, herbal tinctures, and other things that can help you for your health. If you can get Interfood or the meal replacement powders that you can stretch your long-term storage food out. But get the 40-day, 40-night payout. Get the herbal tinctures. Get the British Burke Pail. Get the clearly filtered pitchers. Get anything that you possibly can to begin to prepare in earnest like there is no tomorrow, because there may not be much of one. You call them at Inner Health Botanicals, 866-762-9238, 866-762-9238. You tell them Hawk sent you and you want all the possible discounts for quantity and the specials and all the different things. Or you can go to Interfood, ENERFOOD.com, Interfood.com. Ladies and gentlemen, if you would like to get any gold or silver, and I'm going to tell you, I'm going to read you here in just a second. Let me see if I've got it right here. It's Richard Russell, and he's interviewed by King World News. And he says, here's one thing that he says. He says the trash of fiat money will disappear, and silver and gold will take their rightful place in the world monetary system. As the old system is destroyed, a better and finer monetary system will grow out of the ashes, you see. And he talks about how countless countries are preparing for the collapse in global fiat currencies. And he's saying the word is out that China is selling massive quantities of U.S. Treasury bonds. At the same time, China has been a huge buyer of gold. He said, my thought is that China wants to back the yuan with gold, and thus the yuan will be the world's only gold-backed currency. In this way, China wants to be an economic par with the U.S. Russia is also buying physical gold, as are most of the central banks. They may be preparing for a collapse in the fiat currencies. I advise my subscribers. This is Richard Russell, the Dow Theory newsletter since 1958. He says we're already in a bear market, and he says the devastating bear market is going to correct any gains that have been had in this stock market since 1932. Correct them. In other words, we're going to revisit them, you see. So he is telling you that many veterans are also now afraid to store money with banks or even with the government, and they're buying up small quantities of silver and gold because these items always represent wealth and will not decline in the bear market. They're going to be worth something, while piece of paper you can put them in your new shack that you've tried to build along the railroad tracks in the woods to hide from the men you just can't seem to shake, who are scumbag terrors and Russian Spetsnaz and UN troops and the collaborators, just like on the colony. Maybe you'll have red and black headgear paint, you know. Oh, won't that be so neat? Maybe then you Lucy's in the HRT can go to work for the space alien pine scum. If you want to buy gold and silver, call old Steve Quayle up, Renaissance Precious Metals. He's been telling you to buy it since it was $4.50 for silver, or $5, and about $2.97 or $300 on the gold. Richard Russell, the dean of the Dow Theory newsletter, who should be advocating stocks, but he tells you that he never, in a bear market, ever has his subscriber invested in the stocks. So when they tell you, oh, buy and hold, it's all going to come back, he's telling you this is going to correct gains. This bear market is going to correct gains, and they'll correct the entire rise in the Dow from the 1932 low. It's going to correct it all. And he says, in all my years of writing since 1958, I have never allowed my subscribers to stay invested through a primary bear market. He says, I've kept my subscribers out of common stocks, except gold stocks, and for the most part, the bear market, we will stay on the sidelines until I have evidence the bear market has ended. And he's telling you to buy silver and gold bullion in whatever quantities you can get it. You call Steve Quayle at 406-586-4840, 406-586-4840. You tell him Old Hawk sent you. If you get Tyler or Daryl, good man, manager of the store up there, or you get Steve himself, you tell him Old Hawk sent you. And if you want a saddle you can ride till the end of time or till the cows come home, or if you want any kind of leather goods, leather rifle slings, holster, knife sheath, scabbard for your ATV or for your horse, saddlebags, whatever it might be, any kind of a leather product, let a real cowboy make them for you. Because you see, not all the cowboys are dead, FBI. But you can call sharpsaddles.com, sharpsaddles.com. Go to sharpsaddles.com. You tell them Old Hawk sent you. And you'll be blessed by it, because they make good stuff. They got a survival rifle sling that would just come in real handy if you had to shed your pack or your rucksack. So consequently, sharpsaddles.com. You want to keep Old Hawk in a game? Somebody that they're doing a denial of service attack on, because last night I went so hard at him asking where the videotape. You don't produce the videotape. I said last night that FBI, you're a bunch of chicken shit people. Remember what I said last night? If you didn't hear it, you're listening to something else or you're doing something else, go back and listen to it. They produced the tape. Tonight we got denial of service attack. You want to keep hawking the game? Anything is needed, and it is welcome. Send it to Hawk 3965 West 83rd Street, number 356, Prairie Village, Kansas 66208. Hawk 3965 West 83rd Street, number 356, Prairie Village, Kansas 66208. Keep me in the game and keep me striking blows against the Lucy shin, and keep me warning those with ears to hear and eyes to see. I'm not designed to give you an all-over nice, entertainment show with well-produced music and all of that. That's not what the Lord Jesus would have me do, what I'm doing, what he's had me do since 2004. And through all kind of stuff, and I've done the show when I couldn't see. The only time I was out is when I had my the stroke, and my whole right side was numb. And then I think I came back a week later or something after that, or 2 weeks. And then the other time, when I was in a coma for 3 days with the Lord Jesus. Ladies and gentlemen, you get exactly what you get, and I was recruited to strike blows against the enemies of the Lord, and to then tell those of the remnant. The true remnant are those that have ears to hear, eyes to see, and that you can act upon it. And to do those things that will protect, or to help to protect, your family, your friends, those around you, and yourself. Get busy in the preparations, because supplies and logistics are the only things that win the war, help you get there. You can be overwhelmed. And let me tell you something else. Don't have good guerrilla fighters maintain a defense on a fixed position against superior firepower enemy with armor, air assets, signal intelligence, and electronic intelligence, as well as having snake in the grass, instigator, undercovers, plants, shills, whatever you want to call them, traitors, snakes amongst you, to foment ideas, you see. Never waste good guerrilla band of the hand, you see. But you got to remain fluid. You got to be able to strike and go into the night. If one analyzed military strategies, because when you read, in general, if you're studying military history and you read the guerrilla war, about guerrilla wars, and who were guerrillas? Well, you guys might remember the Viet Cong, okay? You might remember Geronimo. You might remember Swamp Fox, the Carolina people. There were several of them in the Carolinas. You might remember the Green Mountain Boys. You might remember Jesse and Frank James and the Younger Brothers, you see, who were guerrilla riders for the Gray Army. You see, you cannot do that. You have to move, shoot, communicate, but it's better to move and shoot and then communicate later, you see, and to have the plan, and to disappear back into the jungle, disappear back into the night, disappear back into the street alleys, disappear into the cellars of the French resistance, or into the Chaika of the Russian partisan, or into the mountains of the Greek resistance, or the Yugoslav resistance, or the Polish forest resistance. Excuse me, ladies and gentlemen. Where you see Brother Quayle has hit the nail on the head, and I've talked about it over the years too. Remember when I was reading from you, Jim Mars's book back a few years ago, The Rise of the Fourth Reich, and went into all the Nazi stuff? You see, that's still who is in charge of a lot of the things in the top slots. You ever hear of the Bush family or the Bush-Clinton dynasties? Or that, and that's another thing. FBI terrors, killers of the American cowboy, those who opened the sinkhole to the Lucy Hell on the coast in Oregon by your actions. By your actions, you got the result and you opened the giant sinkhole. You made it go into each other, didn't you? Because the first part of it opened on December the 13th. So Lucy knew that you were planning something and getting it ready. Well, now you got it and you're going to reap it, you see. And Matthew 13, you go read Matthew 13 because that's what I just read to you, you see. Your career dissipation light's going off, boys. Ramadi rules were for Ramadi, not for the Oregon Highway. Fallujah fandangos ain't for Texas. They were for Fallujah. This is the land of the free and the home of the brave. And there's a whole lot of people now who have got your numbers. And let me tell you something. I read to you also from the Declaration of Independence. And it is extremely clear in there, isn't it? If you read any of the information about the Founding Fathers, then you will know that you've just crossed the line, You killed, in a sense, you killed the American cowboy. Just like Crispus Attucks, who was a black man in Boston, was killed by you lobsterbacks, you see. Of course, the lobsterbacks, many of them were Hessians or Hanoverians. They were German, Allemand. So y'all looking like a bunch of Nazis, you see. Hut, hut, hut. Well, my old man pushed the last Nazi he saw down a flight of 200 steps, and he said that guy was a lot more compliant when he got to the bottom. And that was in an aircraft factory in Germany when they wanted to know where the plans and the stuff was, you see, for the good stuff. Oh, I'm going to tell you. Let's see, I just got an email here or something. There is still games afoot, I guess, out there. And I guess the FBI have been laughing about how they murdered LaVoy Pinkham in the local bars and the restaurants. And apparently there's over 200 heavily armed paramilitary commercial. That probably is the old remnant of, Blackwater or the Kraft or somebody. Commercial mercenaries disguised as lawful government employees, allegedly, this is an email that I just got from somebody, allegedly rampaging through Burns trying to provoke local people into an armed insurrection. They've been laughing how they murdered LaVoy Pinkham in the local bars and restaurants. They've been swaggering on the streets, proud of what they've done. That is, supporting a crime so blatant it takes your breath away. And they've been terrorizing local ranchers, entering private property, base slamming people who are feeding livestock and threatening them with death and ball crushing. That is what's going on in America. And you see, it says here, that is the service you're paying for, then this is what the International Monetary Fund and its United States Incorporated venture is all about, has always been about. So, you see, if they're doing all of that, then if you want to go and you want to get froggy and go down the road, then, brother, I'm going to tell you what. You'll get where you want to go. But the people have the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United, that's a little U, big-ass states, with the Bill of Rights. And we also have the Lord Jesus. And your guy's the one whose career dissipation light's going to go off. And there won't be a bar you can brag in. There won't be a diner you can eat your breakfast in. You're going to have to stay up there in your barracks. You're going to have to stay there because you are not going to command the street in a resistance, Paris, France. Oh, you can dance with all the girlies a little while and eat in the fancy restaurants that you got guarded there, you know. But when you get out into the countryside, you see, and the old Maquis is out there, then you ain't going to have passage through another guerrilla band through Sherwood Forest very easily, are you? Because Robin Hood is going to be looking for you, son. Robin Hood is going to be looking for you, and then after you go through all of that, then the tares, you're going to be plucked out by the angel of the Lord Jesus. Oh, boy, you know, they kill the American cowboy, the FBI does, and they run the stock market up. Just like it's wonderful, you see. And then you find out in the course of things, you know, that the different people you thought you could handle and support, like Fox News or something, and you find out that allegedly a guy named Sammons or something that makes the questions up for these debates, a big mucky muck working for Roger Ailes, allegedly. You find out that apparently his daughter works for Marco Rubio. And so then you lay in wait, not only necessarily with the questions that he's made up, and then you also go back allegedly to Ailes himself, who Ailes himself may have utilized certain coaches and stylists and television presence and speaking coaches to assist Jeb Arbusto, earlier in the game. And then you read the things and you hear about how the big-time Bilderberger, you see, the big-time Bilderberger, Wolf, who's associated with the Rothschilds and with the Financial Times in London, he says that they've got to stop Trump. And they've got to stop him big time, you see. And then you find out that you don't always like any of the candidates very much anyway, because like Rip Torn told Nick Nolte, Nick Nolte was playing in a movie, and I forget the name of the movie, may have been Ranger or whatever, but he was going after a villain that used to be his high school football buddy named Cash, okay? And Cash was running drugs from Mexico. And that was Powers Booth played that guy. Nick Nolte played the Texas Ranger of the old school. One riot, one ranger. And Rip Torn was the old Texas sheriff. And they're talking about something going on and all that. And old Rip Torn says to Nick Nolte, the character who was the Texas Ranger, he said, "Why, son, don't you understand that the only thing lower than a child molester is a politician? And if you look at it in that fashion, you will understand what goes on in politics. I learned it at age 18 as I was in the caucuses of a local party as they made deals with black preachers, as they made deals with the black gangster, as they made deals with the white construction company owners and white road construction company owners, and they took in bags of cash from them, you see. Or when they put on 200 to 300 more people on the welfare rolls and promised a turkey at Christmas and Thanksgiving. When they winked and said, we'll look the other way about your bordello and taverns and your drug dealing, just as long as you keep it in your own neighborhoods and keep it out of the rich people's neighborhood, you see. So at 18, I found all of that out. And they told old Hawk, oh boy, man, you're the cat's meow. You registered all those new 18-year-olds to vote, thousands of them, you know. And boy, oh boy, we really like you. You're cool, and we understand you got good grades in school and all that stuff. Where do you want to go to law school? We're going to write you a ticket. And the guy telling me this was a state representative. And he said, when I'm in Congress, which I believe he did go on to go to Congress. When I'm in Congress, he said, you'll be in my job. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I left that active politics right then. And I played around with various writing candidates over the years, and I used to send money to Ron Paul back in the 80s even. But mostly, I just listened to what old Rip Torn said, you see. And, you can get some good local politicians and some good people, but government is best as the smallest government closest to you that you can have impact upon. So prepare, ladies and gentlemen. And this is interesting here. This is against the enemy, the real enemy. The real enemy, FBI, is ISIS. And, of course, you got Bodie Bowditch out there. Hollywood, hang 10. Bodie, Malibu, FBI man. And you still ain't solved anything about that because you had your third man that you had in custody, that the police in San Bernardino had in custody, and had to let go because that was your handler for the two ISIS-affiliated killers. So you let that one slide on by with your PR. And Bodie Bowditch got his hair cut and he gelled it back, and he looked great. That last one, asking the people for their assistance. And you got these things now going all over. Now you got the pretty boy there in Portland, you see. Probably all your Portland types are lighting the lopers of the FBI there, maybe. Maybe that's why you got Ramadi's secret rules and stuff there, you know? You killed the lumberjacks, too. And instead you worship the spotted owls, littlest animals. But there's a secret sniper killing off ISIS's high command in Libya. Somebody who's a true shooter and looter is taking care of ISIS by himself with his spotter. Don't go into their Luciferian night without a fight, ladies and gentlemen. By golly, stand for the Lord Jesus. Stand for your Bill of Rights, your Constitution. Stand for your family and for your property. Fandango Rangers, I know you're ready. Pick you up, go up, and the Lord bless you. Shower with abundance of caution and abundance of